Villanova head coach Jay Wright joins us with a fancy new backdrop. How you been hiding this from me all year, Coach? You win a couple titles, you get all new on me, huh?
That's what we got, man. I was embarrassed last time I had a straight blue background for your show.
Right.
We had to spice it up.
It looks like $1,000,050, just like you on the sidelines. But right now we got a bad news, good news scenario as it relates to your team. Bad news is you lost 4 or 6 to finish. The good news is you still win the Big East regular season. You'll be the 1 seed in the Garden. So which of those is sort of easier to focus on as you get ready for the most important games of the year?
Yeah, neither, because neither really means anything right now. It's all about how we're playing going into the Big East tournament, and we're not playing bad. We're playing all right. We have been inconsistent, but we're getting gradually better. Played a really hot Seton Hall team in our last game, and in a great environment. Got down a little bit early. Phil Booth got in foul trouble. We battled back, had a chance at the end. And so we're playing with some heart. Every game we play is a good experience for us.
Booth and Pascal have done what seniors should do. They've played like seniors and they've led. As you're into March and the most important games, Jay, what else do you feel like you've identified as a team that you can really trust and lean on?
Well, those two are the two we can really trust and we've really leaned on. But guys that are starting to come on here, Colin Gillespie, Jermaine Samuels, Sadiq Bey, Demir Cosby-Roundtree, Joe Cremo. We're getting Cole Swider. We're starting to get him healthy. Hopefully we can get him in there and get to an 8-man rotation, get Javon Quinterly maybe at 9. It's not like the last 4 or 5 years where we knew what the squad was. We knew the rotation going into the Big East tournament. We're still growing it.
With Phil Booth, I was thinking about this. Like, when he finally leaves, like, you guys have had, like, anniversary dinners at this point. He's been in the program so long. He's a great representation to me of what your program can be. How difficult is it to say goodbye to a guy like that who's been part of such a remarkable run? Yeah, man.
Think about it, 2 national championships. Yep. And the year that he was injured, we were a 1 seed in 17. And I kind of joke about it, but I thought we would have a chance to contend if we would have had him. We just got worn down by the end of that year. He's not just a great player, but he does embody everything that Villanova basketball is about and Villanova University. He's loved on this campus, great student. He's working on his master's degree.
Awesome.
Just consummate team player, and I think he's got a chance of playing the NBA.
I agree with that. And you talk about Booth and the guys that have been part of your runs, and now obviously we know it's a couple of titles. This team's different, and yet they've experienced it. What's the value of that, Jay? What can you lean on from those shared experiences as you enter into the tournament field?
When you get to tournament play in the Big East, number one, getting on the floor at Madison Square Garden at that time of year is such a different vibe. Having been there is really valuable. So Booth and Pascal haven't played in a lot of them. That's important. But our sophomores at least have been there. They didn't play a lot, but they've been there. But when you're a freshman and you're coming in there for the first time, it's intimidating. The NCAA tournament does the same thing. No matter what you tell guys, when you get to that tournament, all the distractions around you, which are positive distractions, have an impact on your team. And if you've been there before, you can push them aside and really concentrate on the game, and you're usually more effective.
You alluded to what I wanted to close with, and I keep talking about the NCAA tournament, but before that, Thursday at noon, you're in New York City, and you and I have talked a bunch about Philly basketball, and I love it. I love the Big Five and its history and its tradition. But to you, in New York City, in the Garden, Big East tournament, how do you describe it to someone who has never experienced it?
Yeah, I could get taken down on the streets of Philly for saying this because I'm a Philly guy, but that is the Mecca, man. There is no tournament in the country that has been at the same site for 30-some years. The same people go. Manhattan, New York City gets fired up about it. The alumni from all those teams are in that city. There is no vibe like that in basketball, not pro basketball, anywhere. And, the coaches in the league, we joke about, we try to compare, like, what is the value of a Big East championship? Because when you do it in New York City and you do it at the Garden, we kind of all agree it's comparable to a Sweet 16 for your program because it just means so much to us in the Northeast. It's like I always say, it's like SEC football in the South. It just means the world to those people. Well, the Big East tournament means the world to everybody in the Northeast and in all the cities and the city basketball people. So it's huge, and we are so blessed to be able to play in that place in the Big East.
I have a feeling that what you've accomplished over these past few years earns you enough equity in Philly that you're going to be safe. I understand what you're saying. And look, it's a treat to visit with you always. I'm glad we got a chance to do it before the Big East tournament and then the big one next week. Jay, be well, and thanks for your time, all right?
You too, my man. Always good talking to you.